third chapter of statistics. Linear regression. Understand the meaning of regression first. Now, since we have done correlation chapter, cause and effect relationship is clear to you. So, raise your hand. Give me one example of cause and effect relationship. Adhav, yes?
The number of hours studied by a person or marks is getting.
Okay. Number of hours studied by a person and marks he is getting. Now let me write that. Number of hours studied by whom shall we take? Swara. Number of hours studied by Swara and marks. No, scored by Swara only. What did I say? Cause and effect relation. I did not say nonsense relation. Okay, so cause and effect relation. Number of hours studied by Swara and marks scored by Swara. Now, is it positive or negative? Positive. So, suppose we take 1 hour, 2, 3 and 4. Out of 100 marks, let us say when she is studying for 1 hour, she is able to score 60 marks, 62, 64, 66. Okay. Now if I ask you that if she studies for 6 hours, how many marks she will get? Raise your hand. Raise your hand. Disha? 70 marks or 68, Darshan? 68? No, 70 is correct. I skipped 5 in between. Good everyone. I have skipped 5 in between. I have directly written after 4, 6. So 66 and 68 will not come. What will come? 70. Raise your hand if she is scoring 76 marks. Raise your hand. How many hours she is studying? Janvi? 9 hours. Because if she studies 7 hours then 72. 8 hours then 74. 76 means she is studying for 9 hours. This is regression. Regression is a technique to estimate the value of one variable. Known the value of other variable. See, here we estimated the marks and we knew the number of hours. Here we are estimating the number of hours and we know the hours. So estimating the value of one variable, known the value of other variable. Did you understand this portion, everyone? That is regression. If you go with the dictionary meaning of regression, then to regress means to go near the mean. To go near to the value of mean, arithmetic mean, x bar, y bar. But here regression means we are going near the mean to estimate. We use the values of means of x and y to estimate what would be the value of y for a given value of x, or to estimate the value of x for a given value of y. You don't have the second aspect in your books. Means we will have only such questions where we have to estimate y, dependent variable, for a given value of x, which is independent variable. You don't have any questions where you have to estimate the value of x, independent variable, for a given value of y, which is dependent. You have only one type of questions that y will be required to estimate. Any confusion in this? Correlation, we had 6 formulas. How many times you have written them? 20 times each, and you all remember them perfectly well? Here also there are 6 formulas. But without writing 20 times you remember. Okay, in the class itself you remember, you don't have to write them 20 times. Before the methods, I'll just give you one information about there are the different regression lines. Like I said, we can estimate the marks for a given value of number of hours. We can also estimate number of hours per given value of marks. Okay, so there are basically two regression lines. If you have to estimate, if you want to estimate y, like here, if this is variable, what did we estimate here? Y. And second line is to estimate x. Like here, y was known and we estimated x. If you want to estimate y, then we have regression line of y on x. If you have to estimate x, then we have regression line of x on y. Last year we used to do both of them. Means in the syllabus we had questions of estimating y as well as estimating x. You don't have in syllabus. So one job will decrease. Last year, after reading every question, first we used to decide this. Do we have to estimate y or do we have to estimate x? And we used to further decide, should we find y on x or should we find x on y? That problem will not arise. All the questions you have to find regression line of y on x. Okay? This can be done by two different methods. First is method of scatter diagram. Second is not Carl-Pearson's method of least squares. The name of second method is method of least squares. Okay, two methods are there. One is scatter diagram. Second is method of least squares. What is least squares? I'll explain afterwards. Today only, but afterwards. First, we understand what is, and also we understand one term after that. Then I'll explain you what is least squares. So be attentive. Scatter diagram method, what we do is, as we studied in the last chapter, we first obtain the scatter diagram. Scatter diagram means we studied the values of x1, y1, x2, y2, x3, y3 up till x and y are plotted on the graph. And the diagram which we obtained, it will be in the form of dots. Either you call it as scatter diagram or you call it as dot diagram. So, suppose we plot the values, we have suppose positive correlation, but partial. So we get this kind of diagram. Okay, positive correlation, so we have upward rising this kind of diagram. Did you understand it? Now what we do in scatter diagram method is, we randomly make a line passing through majority of the points, near to majority of the points. So can I say if I make this line, you can see it is passing through the majority of points and maximum points are lying close to this line. Is it or not? This is regression line of ionics. Answer is over. You don't have such practical questions. Why? Because every one of you will get different answer. Perfectly same line everyone will not get. Suppose any one of you tried, then maybe you also get the line which is close to 1, but you get the line this manner. Is this also close to all the points or not? Yes. So this is the limitation. It can be asked for 1 mark. What is the limitation of scatter diagram method? Everyone will get different line of regression. Now the question arises. How to estimate y for a given value of x through this line. How to estimate y for a given value of x. Suppose you want to estimate that this is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. You want to know when x is 40, what is the value of y? And let us say here we have again 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 and 35. What do you want to know? When the value of x is 40, then what is the value of y? What you will do is, from x value 40, make a perpendicular to the regression line. From x value 40, make a perpendicular to the line of regression. Any confusion in that? Wherever it intersects the line of regression, from that point, make a perpendicular to y-axis. What answer do you get? When x is 40, y is 25. Same way you can do it for the other one also, which you don't have in syllabus. Make a perpendicular from y to regression line. Make a perpendicular from regression line to, you get the value of x for the known value of y. This is which method? Any confusion in this? Now, what is this dotted lines? Can I say that dotted lines are the actual values of y? Actual or observed values which we plotted. And whatever we get on the regression line is the estimate. So whatever is the regression line, they are the estimated values of y for the given values of x. Dotted points are the actual. Whatever question values are given to you, that you plot and you get the dots. They are the actual values. And on the regression line, whatever values you will get, they will be the estimates. Is there a difference between the dots and the estimates or not? Yes. This difference is called error. What do you call this difference as? Error. So one term we get across, that is error. What is the meaning of error? Actual value minus estimated value. The difference between actual value and estimated value is called error. Any confusion in this? If this term is not clear, you will not be able to understand the next method. So what do you mean by error? Difference between actual value and estimated value. Is everyone clear with it? Clear? First in the notebook, write 2 regression lines. First in the notebook, write 2 regression lines. Then write the methods. Then write this example of scatter diagram and then write the note of. Okay, go ahead. So now we can understand what is method of least squares. I'll explain you the principle of least squares first, which I'll dictate you also, then I'll discuss the formulas. First of all, method of least squares, what is the principle involved here? If you find the regression line by this method, regression line of y or x, by the method of least squares, then the sum of squares of error is minimum. The sum of squares of error is minimum. Means it is the best line which you can obtain. It gives you the minimum error. Therefore, the name is least squares. The name is not least error, the name is least squares. Because what is minimum is the squares of error, sum of squares of error. Now, why do we do the squares of error? Because error can be negative, error can be positive, so we square it to make all positive. It is actual minus. So, if actual value is more, estimated is less, it will be positive. But if actual value is less and estimated is more, then it will be negative. So, first we find squares of the errors. And in whichever method the squares of error comes minimum. See, if some are positive, some are negative, then positive, negative will set off each other. So any of the regression lines answers become minimum. But when you square them, all of them become positive. After squaring them, then all the errors become positive. Then if your error comes minimum, then that is the best method of regression line. So first of all, what is the principle of least squares? The principle of least squares is that the regression line which we obtain by the method of least squares has minimum sum of squares of error, and that is the reason it is called method of least squares. And so the regression line which we obtain, it is called as the line of best fit. What do you call that regression line which we obtain? The line of best fit. Means it is the best line of regression possible. If you make that regression line and make a graph of that regression line, you'll find that the error would be minimal in that. Best estimate of regression line y can be obtained. Got it, everyone? So give the heading method of least squares and first write this principle of least squares. Given the heading method of least squares. First write principle of least squares. Principle of least squares. Shall I dictate? In the method of least squares, comma, the sum of squares of error is minimum. Any confusion in this? First off, therefore the method is called the method of least squares. And the line obtained is called regression line of best fit. Write it in inverted commas. Okay, whatever regression line we will obtain, we'll call it as regression line of best fit. Okay. Now we derive its formulas. So understand it properly, how to derive the formulas. First of all, regression line, this is now by the method of least squares, okay? Regression line of y on x. We will be having all the questions on y on x. We'll have to always estimate the value of y for the given value of x. Regression line of y on x is given by, this is a common sentence we'll read in all the solutions. Let's start in this manner only. Regression line of y on x is given by. And like past chapter, every question first we will find x bar and y. Okay, regression line of y on x is given by y cap equals to a plus bx. Cap means estimate. What do you mean by the word cap? Estimate. Not topi. Estimate. We are going to find the estimate of y for a given value of x. Therefore, we don't call it simply y. We call it as y cap. Because actual value of y will be different and estimate of y will be different. And the difference in the two is called error. So here we are estimating the value of y. Therefore, instead of y, you denote it as y cap. And what is that y cap? Estimate of y. And how do you find that? A plus bx. where first we understand what is B. B is called regression coefficient. B is called regression coefficient of y on x. We are finding y on x, so B is called, actually B is denoted as byx because we are finding regression line of y on x. You don't have the other line in your syllabus. If you are finding regression line of x on y, then there the B is called bxy, which means regression coefficient of x on y. Here this B is b by x, which means regression coefficient of y on x. Now what is this B actually? Okay, understand that. A is the intercept. What is A? It is the intercept. A is the minimum value of y, which will always take place whether x is there or not. Basically, y is dependent upon x. So if you make this diagram and you get this regression line of y on x, okay, if you take it up to y-axis, then this value is called as the value of, this is called intercept, intercept, not intersect, intercept. Intercept means where does it touch the axis. So wherever the regression line touches the y-axis, it is called A. What is this A? It is a minimum value of y, which will always take place even if x is 0. As you can see, at this value, is the value of x 0 or not? At this value, the value of x is 0. For example, suppose I say x is income, y is expense. Does y expense depend on x income or not?
Yes.
Now, even if you don't earn any income, still will you have some expenses or not? You'll do it from the past savings. Even if you don't earn any income, food you will eat, beg, borrow or steal, whatever you'll do. But you're going to eat the food, means you're going to incur that expense on basic necessities. So that expense you're going to incur irrespective of the value of x. That is called the value of autonomous value. A stands for autonomous value of y, which even if the value of x is 0, it is going to take place. Any confusions? Once again, what is A in this equation? Autonomous value of y means that value of y, minimum value of y, which will always be there even if x is 0. Any confusions? Now coming to B. Here B stands for b by x because we are finding regression line of y on x. B is called regression coefficient of y on x. Is everyone clear with it? What is this B? It is the slope of regression line. What is this B? It is the slope of regression line. Means it shows change in y due to change in x. What does B shows? Change in y due to change in x. In fact, due to unit change in x. Suppose the value of D is 2. It is not like R that it will be between -1 and +1. It can be any value. Suppose the value of D is 2, means it is more slow. If x changes by 1 unit, y will change by 2 units. If x changes by 5 units, y will change by 10 units. If b is 0.5, means if x changes by 1 unit, y will change by 0.5. Suppose x is income, your income increases by 5,000 rupees and b is 0.5. So if your income is increasing by 5,000 rupees, then expense will increase by 2,500, 0.5 times of that. So what does that B indicate? Repeat, change in y. Once again. Once again. Due to unit change in x. Okay, change in y due to unit change in x. So if B comes to 1.2, it means if x changes by 1 unit, y will change by 1.2 units. If x changes by 100, y will change 100 into 1.2, 1.2. So a is the autonomous value which does not depend on x. It is going to take this even if x is 0. And b indicates change in y due to unit change in x. Means it will depend on x. If x is changing, then only y will change. Understood that? This will not depend on x and this will depend on x. Any confusion with that? And what did I say this? If the regression line is this, do you find the slope is more or not?
Yes.
Here y will change by more proportion. And if this is your regression line, the slope is less. Here y will change by less proportion compared to change in x. That's why we also call it as slope of regression. Understand how do we derive 6 formulas for B. Okay, first I am writing the 6 formulas of R. Now I assume that you remember these 6 formulas perfectly. Okay, 3 rules you will remember to remember the formulas of B and will derive those formulas. Rule 1, numerator will remain same. Repeat. Numerator means ऊपर वाला. Those who have any confusion? Numerator will remain same. Okay. Rule 2. If you are finding y on x, you don't have the questions of x on y. If you are finding y on x, then denominator will include only x variable. It will not include y. Means this will not come, this will not come, this will not come, this will not come, this will not come. Rule 1, numerator will remain same. Because we are finding y on x, denominator will include only x. If we had regression line of x on y also, then there the denominator would include only y. Here in y on x, denominator will include only x. And rule 3, square the denominator. Rule 3, what you will do is square the denominator. Understand it? Numerator will remain same, covariance between x and y. Any confusion? Rule 2, denominator will not include y, it will include only x. So Sx. Rule 3, square the denominator. So what is the formula of d by x? Covariance between xy upon sx. Raise your hand. Second formula. Raise your hand. Rushil. Sigma.
X minus x bar.
X minus x bar.
Y minus y.
Y minus y bar.
Upon n into s.
Upon n into
Sx.
sx square. Will we do n square sx square n sx whole square only n into sx square? Only n into sx square. Reason. In earlier chapter, what is the formula of covariance I made you write? In the earlier chapter, after writing covariance I made you write where covariance x by 2 formulas. Sigma x minus x bar y minus y bar upon. So the sigma x minus x bar y minus y bar upon n is a substitution of only covariance. Sx square will remain. So don't square that n. Got it everyone? Same way, raise your hand. What will be the third formula? Kushali?
Sigma xy minus n xy y bar upon n into sx.
Very good, correct, but we don't have the third formula. The formula what she said is correct, but in your book, third formula based questions are not there, so I'm not writing that. Is everyone clear with it? Now raise your hand, what will be the fourth formula? Means here now third formula, fourth will directly become third. This formula you don't have in this chapter. Raise your hand, what will be the next formula based on that? Tejaswini?
Sigma xy minus sigma x into sigma y upon n sigma x square minus sigma x square.
Yes, numerator will remain same. So n sigma xy minus sigma x into sigma y. Further, denominator will include only x. So I'll write only this part, which is n sigma x square minus sigma x whole square. Now rule 3 if you apply. If you square the denominator, then square root will get cancelled. If you square the denominator, then square root will get cancelled. Understood that? Same way, what will be the next formula? N sigma uv minus sigma u sigma v upon n sigma u square minus sigma u whole square. Any confusion? That's the reason I made you write those formulas many times, and here no need to write because you just remember the three roots. And same way, last formula sigma x minus x bar y minus y bar upon square root will get cancelled. So only sigma x minus x bar whole square. Any confusions in that? All are clear with it? Write it all down. Rules are there. Rules are visible. The formula also x part is visible. So all of you check it up and ask me still if you have any confusion. For your reference, if you want, you may write the rules, then I'll erase it. Now, how many formulas here you have? So 6. One more new is there. Understand? It is a very simple formula. We will be finding that last formula using correlation R. R into Sy upon Sx. We are finding regression line of y on x. So remember Sy upon Sx. Y on x. So Sy upon Sx multiplied by R. R into Sy upon Sx. Now why this formula? Understand it. Listen carefully. R into Sy upon Sx. Okay? In place of R, suppose I write this formula first. Covariance xy upon Sx into Sy. This I have written in place of what otherwise is there? Sy upon Sx. R into Sy upon Sx. Sy gets what remains? Covariance xy. What is Sx into Sx? Sx. So it is same as any other formula. Okay? But we will apply that formula, last one, only when R is directly given. And formula is easy to remember. R and we are finding so Sy upon Sx. Any confusion in this? Same like last chapter. First two we will use only in short questions, and the last also only in short questions. Okay? First two formulas and last formula we will use only in short. These three we will use in long questions as well as short questions. Now, same rule. This formula you will use in long question when the values of x and y are small, up to 20. Last formula, this x minus x bar, when the values are big and x bar and y bar are not in decimals, integers. UV formula, when values are big and x bar and y bar are in decimals, fractions. Same rules. Is everyone clear with that? So tomorrow we will start with these long questions based on xy formula and last formula. One thing is remaining. A. These are the formulas of B. And A equals to. Now listen everyone. Two regression lines. As I said, the other one is not in your syllabus, which is x on y. If you make two regression lines, y on x, listen carefully, and x on y, they always intersect at x bar and y bar. What happened? If you make two regression lines y on x and they will always intersect each other at x axis x bar and y axis. In this equation, if you substitute y as y bar and x as x, you get the value of a. If you bring dx, which is plus, on the left side, it becomes minus. Any confusion? If you bring dx on the left side, it becomes so y minus dx, and they intersect each other at x bar and y bar. So put x bar and y bar. How will you find the value of a? Y bar minus dx. Only one formula. And that's why I said every question first we will be finding x bar and y bar. So there's only one formula of a. Y bar minus dx. Bye everyone.